Hello, my crafty friends. Today I'm sharing the cards I made with the August 2020 Paper Pumpkin Kit, which is by Stampin' Up. It is a monthly subscription kit, and this is my first month that I've actually subscribed to it. So the kit came with enough materials to make 9 cards. 3 of them are shaker cards, and I ended up getting 13 cards and 6 shakers. So I'm going to move them out of the way and go through them with you. All right, so let's start with the shaker cards. It was a very cool kit, and I was at first disappointed that this was going to be my first one because I've seen some really cute paper pumpkin kits, and this one, I don't know. I like blues and greens, but the Pacific Point is not, say, my favorite color blue, and the whole trophy thing, I wasn't sure about it. But you know what? I had so much fun with the kit. I'm absolutely thrilled I subscribed, and I was impressed with all of everything you get in the kit and how easy it is to put the cards together. I don't tend to follow instructions, and I'm a bit of a patterned paper miser when it comes to fancy cards, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So for this, the shaker card, it came with the foam frame, it came with the window plastic, and it came with star confetti. So I did it a little bit differently. There's a surprise. So they did the shaker like this on the white card background that the card kit comes with, and it had this embellishment kind of in the center. But because there was a theme of trophies, etc., I pulled out my iCrafter, I think it's Best Dad trophy die, and I added this to it. So it worked out really well. I used some more Stampin' Up! Gold foil. The stars come in the kit. The stamps come in the kit as well. I did add some blue sequins and some gold micro beads, but normally I use a scoop to scoop them out, and this time I tried to pour and they just practically dumped in, and they're almost impossible to get back out. So it's a very full shaker card, and unfortunately the gold micro beads disguise a lot of the pretty foil stars. Inside, I added a Riley and Company stamp, and I used Stampin' Up! Banner Punch to punch those out of gold foil. Now it doesn't look finished here because I wanted to show you what I was talking about being a card miser. So this blue argyle, it was a folded A2 card with this pattern on both sides. Well, I I don't need a patterned back when I can get 2 really pretty patterned card fronts. So I added this inside. So my card is an A2 card, which is 4¼ by 5½. I cut this panel to 4 inches by 5¼ inches. And then I wanted to show you here that I cut a frame out. I used a nesting die and cut that center away to use on another card because it's all just hidden by the white. And I can pull this release paper off and adhere it down. So it says, "You deserve a medal, #1, and there's room for me to write a message inside. And I figure this is going to go to our grandson. Our Ethan is very good at karate, and he won a provincial tournament for Alberta, and before COVID was going on to nationals. So I expect at some point I'm going to need this this card for him, and that's why I added the karate stamp on the inside. So that's my first shaker card. When I finished the card or when I finished the shaker and it was clear on both sides, that made me think, oh, I could do a shaker window. So my second shaker card is actually a clear window. So I assembled it the same die cutting. I used the white card base again from the card kit. And I used a rectangle die to cut the center of the card out, then nested that same die with a slightly larger one on blue cardstock. This is not Pacific Point. I don't have Pacific Point cardstock, but I did have a blue cardstock in my stash that matched fairly well. So it is a shaker. I did add the same thing with the gold microbeads and the blue sequins as well as the star confetti, but I didn't dump the microbeads, and it does work much better that way. You're the best. These are the Tasteful Label dies, also by Stampin' Up! And I added teacher to the inside, so you're the best teacher. If 2 of our grandkids that are back in school, if they need a teacher card at the end of the year, I have it for them. Otherwise, my other daughter is homeschooling, so I could send that to her. And my third shaker, so again, these three cards use the shaker components that came in the paper pumpkin kit meant to be shakers. This one I added the trophy. I wasn't crazy about the white background, and I thought, well, because again, it's on the white card base. I added the trophy inside, so this is one of the elements that came in the kit. I stamped on it, "You're the best," and then popped that up on foam tape inside, and then added my shaker filler. So same thing, the gold micro beads, the star confetti, the blue the blue sequins, a little strip of the blue argyle, which probably came from the inside of this card. So the little 1/4 inch strip that you cut off, I added it there. And then this is also from the Tasteful Labels, the stitched label, and this calls for a celebration. Number 1, this is 2nd generation stamping with the Pacific Point ink pad that came in the kit, or ink spot. It's one of the little cubes. So I did 2nd generation stamping there, and this one is adhered down, but I did the same thing. I cut a frame out, or rather I cut a rectangle out to save for another project. And then this rectangle, or this die set here, is called the Dashing Rectangles by Elizabeth Craft Designs. So that is pretty much the die set that I used for most of my cards. I just got it out and kept it out. So those are my 3 shaker cards that are meant to be shakers as indicated in the kit instructions, just done a little bit differently. Next up are these cards. And so not only did it come with 3 of these blue argyle patterned cards that were patterned on both sides, it also came with 3 envelopes with this coordinating print. These are beautiful envelopes. I don't know if all stamp envelopes are like this, but they're heavy, they're a nice quality. I really liked them, and I like that they have the pattern on the back. So this is my card, and this one is actually pretty much done by the formula that they give you with your instruction package. It came with the vellum leaves, it came with this pretty watercolor piece, it came with this ribbon, and the gold, those are punch-out pieces. You deserve a medal. I cut the blue argyle card base in half to give me 2 panels, and then trimmed it down to fit on a card front. So this is my own white card base. Other than that, I did it as per the instructions. And inside I added the ribbon stamped in yellow, and this is from, it's called Large Birthday from Technique Tuesday, and then the labels are the Tasteful Labels from Stampin' Up. I'm putting together a package of birthday cards for a friend, and I enjoy doing masculine cards, and I thought these are just, they're nice and sturdy, and they're beautiful envelopes. I think that just elevates the cards, and I'm looking forward to adding these into a gift bag for her, and one to keep for myself. I did stamp on the envelope as well. My additional 3 shakers were done the same. So there were 3 of this pattern card, A2 cards patterned front and back. I cut them in half and then cut each of those panels down as well. I saved the strips until the very end because I didn't know if I was going to need them to decorate, as I did with this one here. And in the end, I didn't end up needing them. Now there's additional elements on here. I'm not a Stampin' Up! Rep. I am a Stampin' Up! Customer. So I can use whatever I want in my stash, and I don't have to worry about it. So I did pull out a few additional things. This is the fall away piece from the frame. And printed in here was the blue circle that is on here. So you punch out the blue circle and you punch out the frame, and this is, I guess, essentially recycling, but I looked at it and saw a shaker card. I used a nice heavyweight white card base and used the Stampin' Up! Strips that they sell to make shaker cards. So this depth is a greater depth than this one, which is like a single layer of foam tape. This would be like a double layer of foam tape. I didn't add the micro beads into this one, just the gold stars and the blue confetti. And I added some paper smooches die cuts here. It's either a feather or a leaf. You can take your pick. Here's a scrap of the blue argyle. This is a punch from my stash, and it's actually hiding the staple. I stapled a ribbon, so this Pacific Point ribbon came in the paper pumpkin kit. and I just fishtailed the ends and added it here. So it's your day, and wishing you a happy birthday. I die cut the two leaves again out of a square of pattern paper and used my Tailored Expressions blending brushes, and just as a stencil then I just stenciled the color inside. And this stamp is called Birthday by Darkroom Door. And again, because it's a sturdy card and it's got this beautiful sturdy envelope with the pattern, and it's such a nice coordinating set, I will be putting one of these in the gift for my friend, and probably save one to give to my daughter. I always give her a selection of birthday cards on an occasion, Mother's Day or Hanukkah or whatever for her, and then I'll keep one for my stash. So those are my three additional shaker cards. These two cards use the second and third trophy. There's the first one, and it came with three. I used the blending brushes from Tailored Expressions and ink blended on the white vellum leaves just to make them stand out a little bit more. And I added some sparkle. You can see they're peel off stickers. These ones are from Dazzles. This happy birthday comes from the Blossom and Blooms set by Stampin' Up. So it's pretty much the same layout as they gave in the instructions, other than you can see once again I used my own white card base, and I cut down the Argyle printed A2 card into two and then trimmed the panels down to use. But because they're nice and sturdy, and again the envelope, this will make a nice gift. I did add a white mat and inked the edges of my patterns. This is the green watercolor background, which is similar to the yellow one in a card that's buried here. And inside I used the Darkroom Door stamp once more. So there's two of those. One I can keep in our stash and one I can give to our friend. I just thought they're a nice kind of masculine card, and the trophy and the You're the Best goes together. Getting down low here, but I had one envelope and one panel left, so trying to decide what to do with it, and I ended up keeping it very simple. I wrapped the panel with some of the blue Pacific Point blue ribbon. Here's one of the vellum cuts. The gold foil were pieces that came in the kit, and I stamped the rosette, added some star confetti, and inside, oops. Inside I used, let me see who that one's by. That is a stamp set by Tailored Expressions, and it is called the Inside Scoop. So there's two separate stamps and another strip of the cardstock. So another card that I can keep in my stash or give to my friend or my daughter. Now, of course, you know I had to make a slimline card. I love slimline cards. So this one folded is 3.5 by 8.5 inches. I took the blue Argyle A2 card, opened it up, and then cut it at 3.25 inches. And then I trimmed 1/4 inch off. So this panel is 3.25 by 8.25. And I put the other strip aside to use on other projects. I knew I wanted the vellum not to be white on this card, but instead to be the Pacific Point blue. And when I had done the inking with my blending brushes on this, I had placed the vellum on a piece of scrap paper, and I really liked the look that the scrap paper had after I was finished inking. So I actually did it on purpose here. I laid one of the vellum leaves on the envelope and used the blending brushes to add colors. So at the same time, I not only got my color blended onto the vellum, I got a decoration here. And there's a second one. So there was 3 vellum pieces left. One is on the last card. There's these 2 here, and you can see I added another one of those blending stencil brushed embellishments there. Again, because I'm not limited to using Stampin' Up! Stuff, this is a really cute little stamp set I've had for a long time, and it is called, I think it's called Birthday Chicks. It's by MFT anyhow, and I believe it's retired. Now, the kit came with a bunch of circles, so you can punch out circles and punch the circles out much like this blue one. However, I tried to color it in with Copics. What a mess. So this is the one that This is a circle that I punched out. So this is the white cardstock that comes in the kit. And you can see it just bled outside the edges. It was just, I mean, these were done exactly the same. They were stamped with black memento and colored with Stampin' Up! Blends and Copic markers. And what a difference cardstock makes, hey? This one is a Nina cardstock meant to work with alcohol inks. And this one is obviously just a white cardstock. So I did want to show you when you use a better quality cardstock with your coloring, it makes a huge difference. I added some black glazed pen to the chick's eyes. This stamp comes with the chicks, and this is an MFT border. Here's another one of the yellow patterned kind of watercolor backgrounds that came in the card kit. The last little bit of the ribbon came on here, and for these I used glitter dots from Elizabeth Craft Designs. Same sentiments from Tailored Expressions, and I added one more of the stamps here. So there's my slimline card. And then the final card, this is card number 13. I had one of the envelopes left, so I used a white cardstock base. And this Argyle strip here came from the strip that cut away when I cut down this piece for my slimline card. Here's another one of the rectangles that came from the inside of this piece here. I used my last gold circle. Now the It's Your Day doesn't come in the kit. It is from the Stampin' Up! Set Best Catch, but it fits so perfectly. I really liked it. This is the last of the vellum die cuts. I did have a little bit of ribbon left over actually, so I wrapped it around the yellow panel. And that's just yellow cardstock from my stash. And then there's a blue kind of vine as well. I don't know who makes the die. I've had it for many years, and actually it doesn't cut all that well, so I don't use it very often. But I did cut one out of the blue cardstock and trying to decide if I would use it, and I didn't like it on any of the other cards. But since it was sitting there and I was trying to finish up, I did attach it to this card. I added some of the gold sequins because I like the look, and inside again from the large birthday from Technique Tuesday, final scrap of the blue Argyle and a yellow strip there finishes off that card. So another one either for my stash or to gift to my friend. So those are my 13 cards made from the August Paper Pumpkin kit, and I wanted to show you what I have left over. I have a few of the star sequins left over. You can add as many or as little as you want, and I wasn't sure how many I wanted to embellish, so I will pop those into the next shaker card I make and they'll be gone. This I will probably add into recycling. It was a leftover bit, and you can see that's where I used the Tasteful Label dies and cut that label out. I may keep it for a card. I can use it as a strip, I'm not sure. I have 3 of these fishtail gold foil pieces left, and this piece. Now I think I'm going to combine these, maybe add some stars and do one more card, a birthday card that I will donate to my mom's old nursing home. I won't share that one, but I have that left. And then the only other thing I have left are the punch out pieces. I ended up using a lot of my own white cardstock for the pieces. Now I did use a lot of the small circles for the stamping because without coloring they were fine. But these obviously will be used on other cards and projects. So I didn't want to have a little file with all the leftover bits. I wanted to get the cards made and not have to store a bunch of stuff. So I'm excited about Paper Pumpkin, and I'm thrilled with my 13 cards, and I hope that you like them as well. If you liked my video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of my cards. And that is it for me today.